Hello. In this week's portion, Yitro, we learn the Ten Commandments. One of them is Lo tignov, you shall not steal. Let's begin with a joke. The doctor hopes you get sick. The dentist hopes your teeth decay. The lawyer hopes you run into legal problems. The policeman hopes you become a criminal. The mechanic hopes your car breaks down. The plumber hopes your toilet overflows. The landlord hopes you can never afford to buy a house. The military hopes your country is threatened by evil empires. The undertaker hopes you die soon. Only the thief wishes you great prosperity and sound sleep. At last, someone who cares. Now let's get serious. The Torah says you shall not steal. But what does stealing mean? Most people would say it means don't take another's private property, material or intellectual. But there is another meaning. Don't kidnap another person for ransom, for enslavement, or for selling as a slave. Jewish tradition interprets it as the latter. Here's why. The 12th of Rabbi Yishmael's 13 rules of hermeneutics, that is, rules on how to interpret the Torah, is when a verse is ambiguous, deduce its meaning from the context. Now, around it are commandments that carry the death penalty. The full verse is, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Murder and adultery are punishable by death, and the false witness gets the penalty reserved for the defendant. So you shall not steal must refer to something that carries the death penalty. Stealing property doesn't, but kidnapping does. As the Torah says later, quote, and he who steals a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hands, he shall surely be put to death, unquote. The commandment, don't take another's private property, does come in, but later in Leviticus. Quote, you shall not steal, lo tignovu, plural. Nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. You shall not defraud your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of he who is hired shall not remain with you all night until the morning, unquote. The context is clearly theft of money or possessions. Here's the Talmud text on this interpretation. From where do we know that the Torah warns us against kidnapping? Rabbi Yoshia said from the verse in Exodus, you will not steal. Rabbi Yohanan, from the verse in Leviticus, they shall not be sold as slaves. Now there's no dispute. One master states the prohibition against kidnapping itself, and the other the prohibition against selling the kidnapped person. Our rabbis taught the Torah says in Exodus, you will not steal. This refers to kidnapping, the stealing of human beings. You say the Torah refers to the stealing of human beings, but perhaps it is not so. Perhaps it speaks of the theft of property or money. I will tell you. Go and learn from the 13 principles whereby the Torah is interpreted, one of which is that a law is interpreted according to its context. What does the Torah speak of in that verse? Of crimes that carry the death penalty. Hence, this too refers to a crime that carries the death penalty. The rabbis taught in another baraita. The Torah says in Leviticus, you all shall not steal. The Torah there refers to theft of property. You say so, but perhaps it is not so. Perhaps the Torah refers to the theft of human beings. I will tell you, go and learn from the 13 principles whereby the Torah is interpreted, one of which is that the law is interpreted according to its context. What does the Torah speak of in those verses? It speaks of matters of money. Therefore, this too refers to matters of money. Maimonides has a list of the 613 commandments, and it includes 8 against stealing property. Commandment 467, don't steal, lo tignovu, in the plural. Commandment 468, the court must implement punitive measures against the thief. Commandment 469, ensure your scales, weights, and measures are accurate. Commandment 472, don't move a boundary marker to steal someone's property. Commandment 474, Don't withhold wages or fail to repay your debts. Commandment 475, don't covet and scheme to acquire another's possession. Commandment 477, return the robbed object or its value. Commandment 479, return the lost object. The sages took stealing property very seriously. Here are 10 rules they came up with. First, there's no petty theft. Quote, Rabbi Yochanan said, when a person robs his fellow even of the value of a penny, it is as though he had taken his life away from him. As it is said in Proverbs, such is the fate of all who pursue unjust gain. It takes the life, the soul, out of its lawful owner. Unquote. This is a very strong statement made for emphasis. Second, it is theft even if you think the object belongs to you. An example is Rabbi Huna's story. Quote, once 400 jars of wine belonging to Rav Huna turned sour. The sages came to visit him and said, let the master examine his past actions. He asked them, am I suspect in your eyes? Do you believe what happened to me is punishment? They replied, is the Holy One suspect of imposing judgment without justice? He said to them, if anyone has heard something against me, let him speak up. They replied, we have heard that the master does not give his tenant his lawful share of vine shoots. Rav Huna replied, does he leave any of them for me? He steals them all. They said to him, that is exactly what the proverb says. Even if you steal what is your own from a thief, you are also a bit of a thief. He said to them, from now on, I pledge myself to give them to him. Some say that then and there, the vinegar turned back into wine. Unquote. Third, theft is theft, whether the victim is Jewish or not. Quote, the sages said, a person should keep away from dishonesty in dealing, whether with Jew or Gentile, indeed with anyone in the marketplace. Besides, a person who steals from a Gentile will in the end steal from a Jew. A person who cheats a Gentile will in the end cheat a Jew. A person who swears falsely to a Gentile will in the end swear falsely to a Jew. A person who acts deceitfully towards a Gentile will in the end act deceitfully towards a Jew. Unquote. All agree that it is biblically forbidden to steal from a non-Jew. Fourth, the penalty for theft varies. In some cases, the value of restitution must exceed the value of the stolen item. The Torah says, when a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he shall pay 5 oxen for the ox and 4 sheep for the sheep. But if what he stole, whether ox or ass or sheep, is found alive in his possession, he shall pay double. First, if you catch a thief in the act, you may kill him only if you are certain he would kill you if caught. The Talmud adds that in their day, the expectation was that the thief would try to kill you. Today, that may not be so, so killing him automatically is considered murder. Sixth, stealing something with the intention of returning it soon is still theft. The Talmud says it is prohibited even if you intend to repay twice the value of what was stolen. Seventh, do not buy stolen goods. Eighth, at work, do not use your employer's property or time for your own benefit without his permission. Ninth, intellectual theft is also theft. Rabbi Yeshayahu Horowitz from 17th century Germany writes, quote, one should repeat Torah ideas in the name of the person who originally said them, for the theft of such ideas is worse than the theft of money. The soul of a Jew and the Torah are one. Thus, stealing Torah ideas is tantamount to wounding his soul. How great is the sin of one who repeats an explanation of a verse or something else he has heard and does not mention the name of the person who originally said it or wrote it. Unquote. Indeed, the ancient sources are scrupulous about giving credit for insights. The Talmud says twice, quote, he who reports a saying in the name of its author brings deliverance to the world, unquote. This leads to cases where attribution can take longer than the teaching itself. Here's a Talmud quote involving 8 levels of attribution. Quote, Rabbi Shimon ben Zebit said in the name of Rabbi Yitzhak ben Tabla, who said it in the name of Rabbi Hiya Areka, who belonged to the school of Rabbi Aha, who said it in the name of Rabbi Zera, who said it in the name of Rabbi Elazar, who said it in the name of Rabbi Hanania, who said it in the name of Rabbi Miasha, on the authority of Rabbi Yehuda ben Eli. And the quote follows, unquote. 10th, the Talmud even adds creative interpretations of stealing. One who does not respond to a greeting is called a robber. If a person derives benefit from this world without saying a blessing, it is as if he stole from God and the community of Israel. Stealing as a joke is prohibited, even with every intention of returning the item. Maimonides writes, quote, it is forbidden to steal in jest or to steal with the intention of returning the object or paying for it, lest one become addicted to stealing, unquote. However, if the stolen item is returned before the victim is aware of the theft, the thief does not have to inform the victim. Also, it is not considered theft if the owner does not mind. For example, a tailor may take leftovers after making clothes, or a carpenter may take the sawdust after making furniture. Someone who depends on charity may and must himself give charity. Now, if you or your loved ones are starving, are you allowed to steal food from those who have more than they need? On the face of it, yes, of course. Pikuach Nefesh says that you can break any commandment to save a life, except the commandments against idolatry, sexual immorality, and murder. Stealing is not on that list. Yet I asked that question to more than one rabbi over the years, and they always managed to squirm out of it without giving me a firm answer. Rabbis are reluctant to give permission to harm somebody else. The Talmud addresses the issue in a roundabout way. Quote, there were stacks of barley belonging to Jews in which the Philistines were hiding, and King David wanted to burn down the stacks to kill the Philistines and save his own life. He raised a dilemma. What is the law? Is it permitted to save oneself by destroying someone else's property? They sent the following answer to him. It is prohibited to save oneself by destroying someone else's property. But if you're a king, and a king may breach the fence of an individual in order to form a path for himself, and none may protect his action because he's the king. What if he intends to pay back the owner later? The sages of Bethlehem send the following reply to him. It says in Ezekiel, if the wicked gives back what he has taken by robbery, he shall surely live and shall not die. This verse teaches that even though the robber repays the value of the stolen item, he is nevertheless considered to be wicked and is described as such in the verse, unquote. Tosafot and the Rosh interpret this passage as merely requiring payment if one was forced to damage property, even though the damaging was allowed. This passage discusses saving your own life with someone else's property. Indeed, if you save your own life, you must pay for the damages. But elsewhere, the Talmud says that if you save another person's life, you do not have to pay for the damages. The concern is that you may decide not to save someone else's life if you had to pay for any damages done in the process. This is obviously not a concern when saving your own life. Some contemporary rabbis say that if someone owes you money and you need that money to survive, then you may steal from him. Finally, the Talmud informs us that sadly, stealing is very common. Quote, Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, most people steal. A minority sins with regard to sexual matters, and everyone sins with malicious speech, unquote. But the Rashbam softens this by saying that it doesn't mean that most people steal outright, as in shoplifting, but rather steal when they think it's their due, especially in business. How can we conclude except by saying, thou shalt not steal? Shabbat Shalom.